Hi guys, welcome back to Prepping and Free America. I'm the Ancient Warrior. If you like what you hear, you hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be the first kid on your block to know what craziness I'm talking about next, hit the bell icon with all. And leave me comments, please. I need to know if I'm hitting the mark with you guys. All 69 of you. Alright guys. Once a week we're going to talk about in-depth things that you need to know about prepping. So let's talk today. I told you last week in the video, Where Do I Start?, that you need to start with a plan. So let's talk about the plan. Okay, first thing a lot of you are doing is you're saying, well, I need food stores. I agree. And a lot of you are going, but we don't like beans and rice. We don't eat them. Folks, what we need to do is sit down and you need to decide. Look at what your family does eat. Now, guys, this video is probably going to hurt some feelings today, but if you're eating mostly at Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's, Brahms, Taco Bell, Taco Villa, Pizza Hut, Giovanni's, one of the fast food joints, you need to quit. Because I will bet you're carrying a few extra pounds like I do. Now, the video, you've seen me in some videos, and I have a little bit of a belly. It's not as big as it used to be, and I'm working on that. But what we need to do is let's start with talking about calorie intake. Now, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV or on YouTube. My background is of psychology. So I do understand the way the way people think. I've been retired for a long time now. So I'm sitting here. If you notice me looking down, please understand I'm looking at my notes. I went to Children's Hospital of St. Louis website, and they have a site called Children's MD, Mom Docs. And their website is childrensmd.org. And this was posted June 20th of 2011. This was the most current one I could find. Okay, now folks, we're talking about calorie intake. For children between 2 and 3 years old that are not real active, they're sedentary, 1,000 calories a day. If they're moderately active, 1,000 to 14. And if they're real active, you keep them at 1,000 to 14. Females, 4 to 8, 1,200 calories. Moderately active, 14 to 16. Active, 14 to 18. 9 to 13, it's 1,600 if they're not very active. 16 to 2,000, moderately active. And 18 to 22 if they're active. 14 to 18. 1,800 calories. 2,000 calories if they're moderately active. 2,400 calories if they're active. 19 to 30, 2,000 calories if they're sedentary. 2,000 to 22 if they're moderately active. 2,400 if they're active. 31 to 50, 1,800 calories if they're sedentary. 2,000 calories if they're moderately active. And 2,200 calories if they're active. 51 plus. Now, we're going to discuss this one on both men and women in a little later in the video. 1,600 calories if they're sedentary. 1,800 calories if they're moderately active. And 2,000 to 2,200 calories a day if they're active. Men, 4 to 8, 1,400 calories if they're sedentary. 14 to 16 if they're moderately active. 16 to 2,000 if they're active. 9 to 13 years, 1,800. 18 to 22 if they're moderately active. 2,000 to 2,600 calories if they're active. 14 to 18, 2,200 if they're sedentary. 24 to 2,800 if they're moderately. And 28 to 3,200 if they're active. 19 to 30, 2,400 calories if they're just sitting around. 26 to 28 if they're moderately active. 3,000 calories if they're active. 31 to 50, 2,200 calories if they're sedentary. 2,400 to 2,600 calories if they're moderately active. 28 to 3,000 calories if they're active. 51 plus, 2,000 calories if they're sedentary. 2,200 calories to 2,400 if they're moderately active. 24 to 2,800 calories if they're active. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you on the over 50 numbers, they're way too generous. They're way too generous. And I'll tell you why I think they're way too generous. Right now, I'm consuming about 1,600 to 1,800 calories a day. That's what it takes for me to lose weight. I'm not hungry. I feel better. And I don't think about food just all the time. You know, folks, they're being generous on their numbers. Now, on the small kids, 1,000 calories, I think it needs to be 1,000 to 14. But that's, like I said, I'm not a doctor. But we want healthy growth of the children. Now, you've got two types of calories. You've got energy producing calories here. You've got empty calories here. Now, energy producing, empty. What is empty calories? Look down at your waist and you'll see where the empty calories are. That's what produces the fat. Most people use carbohydrates for energy. I'm working on the fact to get my body to where it uses fat for energy. I'm on a diet called the keto diet. I've done real well with it up until the last 2 weeks. And it's not that I've been hungry, it's just I broke my diet. Which was foolish of me, because I was making strides. Now we're going to discuss some of the things you need to be eating. And what's some of the stuff you should not be eating. And I've asked the question before, are you addicted? And people didn't pay much attention to it. So I'll rephrase it some other way, because I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying here. But folks, your calorie intake is important. Now you remember the story I told you about the couple that moved up to Montana, that they found dead in their cabin because they quit eating. And that happened in short order. You know, I made the mistake today. It was a bad mistake. I turned the TV on, and there was a news show on. Number one, I hate the mainstream media. And number two, I hate the mainstream media. Now I know some of you are going to say, hate's a powerful word. Yes, it is. I hate the mainstream media because I know what they're actually doing. And when you actually figure out what they're doing and you see it firsthand, you'll never trust them again. But back to what we were talking about. Folks, the lie has been put into place that fats are bad, you shouldn't eat eggs, too much red meat will kill you, and that you need to be eating bug juices, or drinking bug juices, I'm not sure what it is. And I don't mean the sweet drink called bug juice, I mean where they take bugs and filter them down, and that's supposed to be your protein. Folks, our bodies are not designed for that. We're designed as carnivores. Actually, we're designed as omnivores. We're a carnivore, a herbivore, and a few other vores that are out there. I want to stay within the proper pronouns. But folks, you need to make a plan. You need to look at what your family's eating every day. That's what you stock up on. Now, can your family get used to eating beans and rice? Oh yeah. And they should. It's good cheap food, good low cost food, not cheap, because cheap sometimes indicates bad. But we're going to discuss more on health and why. Now you guys know I've done videos that I tell you I like ramen noodles. As empty a calorie as you can get. Unless you do a few things. So we're going to discuss that later. Folks, if you're prepping, you're a free American. And if you're not, oh well. And remember, it's better to have this stuff and not need it, and need it and not have it. I'm the Ancient Warrior. Have a blessed day.